Good morning, everyone. Lee Henson, President and Founder of AgileDad here. I hope you're having an amazing day. It's time for the Daily Stand-Up, so without further ado, let's get started. One of the things that's been weighing heavy on my mind recently has been I've had many individuals who've contacted me and reached out, and we're talking about the value behind receiving a virtual class or a virtual certification, especially in this time where everything's online and people have the time to do things. The question is, do they have the money to do them, the budget to do them? And more as organizations are starting to realize that either A, what they're offering, a product or service, may not be considered essential, or B, that the budget has afforded them reduced income but higher expenses as they go, that keeping the right people on board, keeping good people on board, has become quite a challenge and has resulted in a greater need for training. So the online training mechanism has really kicked in, but the problem is people just aren't certain. I've got a lot of uncertainty behind, am I going to get as much value out of an online course as I would a course that I'd pay to go to in person? Is it going to give me the same qualifications? Am I going to learn the same skills? And what I have to say is the answer revolves around adult undergarments. It depends. What does it depend on? I know, terrible joke. What does it depend on? Well, it depends on your instructor, and it depends on the material that's going to be covered. One of the things that we pride ourselves on here at AgileDad is that we try to hone each course in such a way that the delivery gives you tangible things that you can use to help you be successful in your job. We don't want it to just be a, hey, this is what the book says kind of class. We want to make sure that you're getting the value out of it. And whether it's an AgileDad course or another course, I have 3 recommendations that I can give you for making certain that you find the perfect course that's going to meet your needs and the perfect coaching opportunity that's going to help you accelerate your career. Step number 1, make a connection. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of courses listed out there. You want to make certain that when you look through those courses that you find one, and I know it sounds kind of cheesy, that speaks to you, that calls to you, that you feel like you have some type of connection with. Sometimes the courses are structured in a very systematic way, is the best way to put it. If you find that it appears the course may be taking a dogmatic approach to Agile or teaching you in a very structured way, or maybe there's an agenda that's outlined for every 10 minutes of the course and it's just real easy and real clear for you to see your learning objectives, while that may seem good on the surface, you might want to scratch your head and take a second look at it, because that also means you're not going to be given a lot of flexibility to talk about the topics that are most important to you. One of the things that I've noticed is making a connection with the students means being more flexible, less dogmatic about your approach and more pragmatic about the way things can be applied. Many students are struggling with, going through and taking these courses where they cover all the basics, they dot the I's, they cross the T's, they're really excited and ready to celebrate their passing a certification, only to find that 90% of what they learned isn't applicable in the workspace, or that they're unable to use a lot of the learnings, which is very frustrating when you're paying thousands of dollars for a course potentially. You want to make certain that you make that connection with the instructor, a connection with the materials. You want to make sure you got some clear direction there and that what you're doing makes sense. Number 2, look for clear recommendations or referrals. Any good instructor or great instructor should have thousands of these classes under their belt and should at minimum have hundreds of recommendations underneath feedback mechanisms, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter. Look for what other people say about their classes, and don't just look for positives. Look for both positives and negatives. A great instructor is not afraid to show you if there's a kink in their armor, or to share with you. I'll never forget one of the feedback pieces that I received that was intended to be negative that turned out to be one of the best positive feedback experiences I could have ever had. There was a student who took my course, and he was talking about the number of stories and delivery model in which the course was given afforded me, a lot of time to reflect on the things that I was doing instead of applying the things that I was doing. And I thought to myself, if I could get someone into a state of reflection, perhaps that meant that, they were actually internally applying these principles, when in actuality what they were trying to say is there are too many stories or too many anecdotes or too many real world scenarios. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I didn't know there was such a thing. I didn't know you could ever have too many real world application stories that you share. But in this case, this individual was only there because they were looking for something very specific. They were looking for a tool or a system that they could just drop into place and hit a few buttons and have it work and be doing the Agile. And one of the things we quickly discovered is that that's not the way this works, right? If you want to apply Agile, you're going to need to have more than just a systematic plug-and-play, drop-in-place type of mechanism. So, number one, make sure you make a connection. Number two, look for that feedback, both positive and negative. You should have trainers that are open to sharing that information. And three, once you have those things in place, you need to make certain that post-training that you're going to have the support that you need. Are you dealing with an organization that offers follow-up coaching? Are they offering you a guarantee? Are they helping you in your walk of life? One example that I love to use is with the military. Just this past year for Veterans Day, we had the opportunity to offer 2 courses, a Scrum Master course and a Product Owner course, both for certification, both for 100% free. This allowed the students who came in an opportunity to transition from the military into the business world. And there were several students who took this course who were unaware of how to align their resumes with their military experience to help position them so that they do better in the application process of drawing attention to them in the business world. Many of these people had never had a regular job. They joined the military at a young age and stayed in for many years, and it was finally time for them to transition out. But they didn't have the opportunity to show how those skills would apply or translate into a real-world scenario. I'm happy to report that many of these individuals were able to, after leaving the class, not only secure jobs, but thrive in those jobs because they had what they needed to be successful. Not just during the class, but after the class, by introducing them and helping them polish their resumes and introducing them to the right recruiters or the right individuals who could help them, and by setting a stage for them to be successful. And I think that, in this day and age, people should be doing more than just basic training and sending you on your way. I mean, while that's important, and many organizations look for the check the box to make sure you have the certification, I think it's also equally, if not more important, to make certain that you have someone to support you after, whether it's a team of individuals who are going to help walk you through, or whether it's, a pool of endless resources, meaning tools, that you could go through to, follow up and to give you the shot in the arm when you need it, whether it's a daily stand-up podcast or, a monthly newsletter or, a blog post occasionally or new documents and new and exciting things. You want to stay away from people who are stuck in this is what the book says mentality, and look for people who are not afraid to explore new ideas, new adventures, bigger and better ways to secure Agile. And as a bonus, the last thing you want to do is you want to make sure you find someone who's active in the Agile community. There are a lot of trainers out there. There are over 200 certified Scrum trainers. There are countless other professional Scrum trainers and safe trainers. I think the key to having a successful interaction with a trainer and with an organization is to make sure that they're active and that they're constantly trying to do things with outreach to help uplift the community and to help make people better. Look there for that personal connection we're talking about in step 1. Look for ways that they give back and for things that they want to do. And never, ever, ever count someone out. I think it's so important for trainers to treat everyone with the dignity and respect that they expect to be treated with, but more importantly, to help those individuals grow both personally and professionally. I remember a conversation I had with a CEO once where I was just so amazed by all the things he had done for his company. And I said, you've taken this company to new heights. You've done so many incredible things. What's your secret? And the answer that he gave to me was, it's not a secret at all. He says, if this company's successful, it has nothing to do with the accolades on my behalf. He said, it's because I surrounded myself with people who are very, very smart, who knew how to do the things, and that uplifted me and made me look like I really knew what I was doing. And at first I thought, wow, what a way to share the spotlight. But at the same time, I thought about it and I said, that's true. Every successful company that I've ever come in contact with has really been the ones that go out of their way to make certain that they're doing all they can to uplift other companies, to help other companies be successful, and to help other individuals be successful. Whether it's the clients that you're serving that you're uplifting, or whether it's the individuals internally that you're uplifting, your goal should never be to take as much as you can, but your goal should be to leave behind a legacy. I hope this information was helpful to you. I challenge you to leave behind your legacy. For more information about Agile, Scrum, any resources you might need, feel free to visit AgileDad.com. We've got it all there. And we'd love to see you in an upcoming training or coaching workshop. And with that, we wish you all to stay well, stay healthy, stay agile, my friends. And until next time, take care.